What's going on? Good morning, YouTube family. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever part of the world you in. Hello to you. My name is Samaj Major. I go by the Credit Master 24/7. Here to give you some tips and advice on what is credit and how can you build it. Okay, how can you get to that level where you got thousands of dollars disposable at your whenever you ready. Okay, so first thing we have to know is what's credit. Okay, I mean, what is credit? Credit is the ability to make payments over time. Okay, so with us knowing that, we actually know that it doesn't matter if it's a small payment or a large payment. As long as you're making your payments on time every month, and you're actually keeping your debt down, meaning you're not maxing out your cards, you're not using half of the credit limit, you're actually keeping it within 10%, 10% or under. That's my rule. You pretty much gonna be good, and you're gonna increase your credit score, gonna shoot through the roof, and before you know it, you'll be in the heavens. Okay, in the heavens is over 800. So that's where I want you to be. All right, guys. So now we're gonna get into understanding the credit bureaus. Okay, and so basically you have three of them. You have Equifax, TransUnion, right? And then you have Experian. So you have three credit bureaus. And let me say this. These credit bureaus are no government entity. They have no jurisdiction over anything. You know what I mean? All they do is store information. Okay? They're simply a storage hub for all of the creditors that you do business with. Okay? And let me say this, because they don't interact with each other, they don't communicate with each other, that means that 80% of the information that's on your report could be inaccurate and could be removed. Okay? So definitely you want to be up on your credit score, checking your credit score, and at least on a monthly. Far as if you have one of the apps, it'll definitely give you enough information so that way you can stay on top of things. Okay, you can have credit monitoring and things like that, so you can get a notice, you can get a notification when something's fishy, or just some red flags is going up on your report or about you. Okay, so understanding these credit bureaus, you don't have to be intimidated by them. You know that they have no jurisdiction or no authority over anything. Okay, all they is a storage hub. Okay, so we have to know that, and we have to understand that, so that way we can actually move forward with our quest. Okay, so how do you find a FICO score? And that's easy. You basically want to eliminate your highest number from your lowest number, and the number that you're left with will be your middle number, and that's called your FICO score. So for instance, let's say TransUnion, you have a 730, right? Experian, you have a pretty much a 650, right? But Equifax, you have a 680. So what would we do? We would eliminate the 730 TransUnion. We would eliminate the Experian, which will be 650, right? This is just an example. And we would take the Equifax score, because that's in the middle, which is the 680. And that's your FICO score. Okay? And that's just how you find your FICO score. Your FICO score is basically important and vital to how much available credit that they will lend out to you, and then at what interest rate that they will lend this money out to you. Okay, so a lot of people just kind of look at the payback monthly payments and say, oh, okay, that'll fit my budget, I can go with that. But at the same time, they don't look at the percentages of interest that they would have to pay to get this loan. Okay. Now, if the interest conflicts with your journey and your quest, to save money and build credit, right? To live a better lifestyle for yourself and your family, then you want to not take that card, because that card can only hinder you, in your journey. It's not gonna better you. It's not gonna position you. Okay, it's not gonna elevate you or edify you in no way. So it's imperative that we actually look at these things as a whole. Interest rates, how much we paying, and things like that. So it's good to know these things, okay? So now that we got that out the way, we know what credit is, right? We know about the credit bureaus, and we actually know how to achieve our FICO score, how to get our FICO score. So now next, what we're going to learn now is pretty much how to build the credit itself, right? So how do we build the credit? Basically, for the individuals that always deal with cash, for the individuals who never really cared for credit, due to the fact that, our mom told us credit is no good, or our dad told us that, if you can't pay for it with cash, then, you don't need it. So therefore, we never really had a desire to actually get credit cards. So for what you guys want to do is, because there's no need to go in a bank and actually apply for unsecured credit card when the possibilities and the probabilities will be you'll be denied, so it makes no sense. We don't want to waste time. We want to use time to actually build our empire, right? And when you building an empire, you have to have good management skills. You have to have good time management skills. So what we're going to do is we just going to jump directly to the secured credit card section. And what you want to do is basically you want to get $200 to $300 and go to a bank, any bank, go to a credit union, any credit union, and pretty much let them know that you want to open up a secured credit card. Okay? So once you open up this secured credit card, now remind you that you will not be denied for this card because it's secured based on the deposit that you provide. Okay? So you won't lose no money this day. The day you go in with the money, you won't lose it. You will walk out with a card in hand with your name on it. Okay? Depends on what bank you actually go to. So what you want to do is you want to leave that bank with your credit card. Now you have a secured credit card. Now you actually opened up the length of history. Okay? So now what you want to do is you want to basically use the card wisely to build your credit. Okay? You want to basically use it with some knowledge. Okay, you don't want to go out and just swipe because that's not going to benefit you on this journey to build financial freedom for yourself. Okay, so my first rule, a lot of experts and people that's in the industry actually would recommend to use 30%. Don't use no more than 30% of your credit limit. But what I say is that's average. We're not average. I don't teach average individuals. Everybody who I get involved with, I want to enlighten and develop into greatness. Every client or every student of mine, I would like to turn into a Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? I would like to turn them into a Kobe Bryant or into a Dwayne Wade. Or, of course, our generation, the LeBron James. I want to turn them into something great. They go from mediocre to being above average. They go from being ignorant to being brilliant. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to produce. So we're not going to listen to those guys. We're not going to do the 30% thing. We're going to do 10%. Don't charge no more than 10% on that card. No more than 10% of your credit limit. Okay? And another thing, what I teach and what I advise is basically you want to make sure you always have the funds available at that particular time of the swipe. Okay? Let me say that again. Make sure you have the funds available when you swipe your credit card. It just makes life a whole lot easier, guys, ladies and gentlemen. It just makes life a whole lot easier because you're not worrying about paying off this credit card. You're not worrying about what if something was to come up and you have to use this money for your credit card to pay for other things, you know what I mean, that needs to be handled. You're not worrying about that. Why? Because it's pretty much already paid when you swiped it. Now, isn't that a easy way to go about this? You know, life is already kind of difficult as it is. Don't make it more strenuous and a struggle than it needs to be. Okay, so those are my 3 rules for you guys. Once you walk out of that bank and have that credit card, that secured credit card in hand, my first rule, you want to make sure you want to pretty much pay all your bills on time every month. Don't have no late payments. Okay, that's very important. If you do these 3 things, you'll be in position to have success. Okay, so make sure you pay all your bills on time every month. Second rule, you want to make sure you keep your utilization ratage down, which is debt. You want to keep it down to 10% or less. For example, if you have $1,000 on your credit limit, you have $1,000 credit limit, you want to divide by 10. Always divide by 10 as far as your credit limit. So if you have $3,000 credit limit, divide by 10. Don't matter. If you had $1 million credit limit, divide by 10. And that will let you know what you can actually spend, what's available to you to spend that month, every month. And don't never leave a balance. Okay, there's no need to leave a balance, and a balance only is going to take money out of your pocket in the form of interest rates. Okay, so it's no need to even do that or go about it that way. You know, the key thing here is to save money and save time. Okay, and that's what credit's going to do for you guys. All right, so I hope you're listening out there. I hope you guys are taking this in and writing it down while you at home or work or wherever you at. Get this information, get this game, so that way you can use it in your life, and so that way you can see your life get a lot more beneficial, get a lot more prosperous. You'll be a lot more flexible. You'll have more options. You know what I mean? And then another thing, credit provides being exclusive. You'll get a lot of exclusivity. You know what I mean? That others can't. They can't access. You know what I'm saying? So credit brings a lot of things. So what we want to do is, like I was saying, first is make your payments on time. The second rule, keep your utilization ratage down to 10%, right? Because we want above average results. So we can't do what everybody else is doing and expect above average results. No, we got to do more. So that's the distinction between us and the rest of the world. Lastly, my last rule, when you're building credit, always have and make sure that you have the funds available at the time of swipe. Okay? Have it available at the time of swipe. And then you won't run into any problems because you can always pay it off every month. You won't have a balance, and your your credit score going to increase with no worries. But if you steady swiping and say, oh, I'll pay it when I get paid, or I'll pay it. No, that's not how you want to do things. You know what I mean? Unless you're talking about $10, $20 or so. But anything that's over $20, $30 and $50 or better, no, make sure you have that available. Okay? If you don't have it available, then you can't swipe. Simple as that. So, and I'm actually going to give you guys a bonus. All right? I'm going to give you guys a bonus tip when you're building credit to save money and save time. All right? So, the bonus would be you want to pretty much make 2 payments that month. Okay? And this is how you do it, guys. You want to make your first payment 15 days prior to your due date. Your second payment you want to make 3 days before your due date. For example, let's say your due date is on the 30th. You want to make your first payment. Let's say you have a credit limit of $1,000. You use my strategy, right? Because you've been listening. You use $100. You swipe for $100. It doesn't matter what it is: gas, going out to eat with your family, anything. You spend $100, right? 15 days prior to your due date. Your due date is on the 30th. You go in on the 15th and make a payment, right? You want to make a payment of pretty much, $90, right? Because remember, you already have the money available when you swiped it. So 15 days prior to your due date, you go in, pay $90, right? Okay. So now you would owe $10, which is approximately how much? 1%. Now you're down to 1% utilization ratage after you made that first payment, right? So now on your second payment, which will be 3 days prior to your due date, which is if your due date is on the 30th, you want to go in on the 27th and actually make that last payment of $10, so that way you don't have a balance. You don't carry over a balance. Okay? So you saw this do two things. It actually reports to the credit bureaus twice that month instead of one time. And then another thing that it does is it actually keeps you under the 10% rating. So let's just say if you was to not make a payment, that second payment, you already under 10%, and your utilization is always low. Because you have to remember, the creditors are not like us. They don't wait till the last minute to send things off. So they don't know whether you're going to make that payment or not, right? So with you going in 3 days prior to your due date, on the second payment, because they send the information off pretty much 3 to 5 days before your due date is due. Okay? So let me say that again. The information, your balance is sent before your due date is actually here. So you want to keep the utilization ratage down. You want to have it down the moment they send it. That's why that first payment is so valuable, that you go in and pay majority of it and you bring it down to 1%. Okay? Or if you was to use 20%, let's say you don't listen to me, you use 20%, because you feel you're more advanced and you're more responsible and you don't have a problem paying your bills. So you use 20%, right? So by the time, so that would means in $1,000 credit, you use 200 instead of 100. So you go in, you pay 190 or 180. You know what I mean? On that first payment. So that way, by the time they send your information off, right, you would already be under 10%. And then that second payment just gonna knock it off where you have no balance. You know what I mean? So that's how you stay in good standing. So that's the bonus strategy that I give you guys, okay? So that's how you want to pretty much build credit through your secured credit card. And then from there, you do this faithfully and consistently, and you do it, pretty much with the information that I provided. Within 6 to 12 months, they're gonna refund you your deposit. Okay, your initial deposit of 300 or 500,000, whatever you put up, they're gonna refund you that money. And now they're gonna accept you as a pretty much a client that they can trust. Now they're gonna give you unsecured credit card. First it was secured by your deposit. Now you have the opportunity to pretty much have unsecured money. Now remember, the first unsecured credit that they give you or allow you to have will not be a large amount. It may be, if you gave them 300 as far as the initial to start your secured, now they might give you a $600 credit limit. But take it, doesn't matter. The key thing is you're building credit. And credit Good credit, excellent credit will save you time and money. So that's the key, guys. You already made it past phase 1. Now you're in phase 2. Now you have the unsecured credit card. So now you want to repeat the cycle. You already have the recipe. All you have to do is bake the cake. All you have to do is make the meal. You already pretty much know how to go about this because you did it with the secured cards. The same rules apply, guys. Same rules apply. Pay your bills on time. No late payments every month. Right? Keep your utilization ratage down under 10%. Right? And then make sure you're making 2 payments. Make sure you're making 2 payments each month. 15 days prior to your due date and 3 days prior to your due date. And you won't have any trouble, guys. Okay? So now, moving right along, the second way to build credit is actually through an authorized user. Okay? Now, if you have a father, a mother, an auntie, a grandmother, grandfather, a cousin, anybody that's been using their credit wisely or just who you know is responsible with paying their bills, that's who you want to talk to and pretty much let them know that you want to be an authorized user on their account. Okay? Now, before you even, let me say this, before you even allow them to answer that question, you want to inform them that you're not asking for a credit card so that way you can have access to their funds. You just want the benefits of the history that's on the account and pretty much all the activity that's on the account. Okay? You let them know that. You say, listen, I'm just trying to get my life in order. I want to build my credit so that way I can have a better life. So that way I can buy me a house in the future. I don't want to rent all my life. I want to get a better loan on that dream car that I always wanted. I don't want to be getting ripped off, to pay the dream car. In every other aspect in my life. I just want to have a better life. I see you doing great things and you a motivation to me in my life. So I realize that it starts with credit and I would like you to be a blessing to me, furthermore than you already have, and allow me to be an authorized user on your account. Okay? Don't be afraid to ask. Now, I want you to pretty much, give them compliments and say things, to this nature, so that way your possibility can increase with them saying yes. They can say yes to your request with no problem because it's no negativity, it's no negative thoughts coming in their mind. Because if you just ask them, oh, can I be authorized using your account? They're gonna be like, I would love to help you, but no, you're gonna have to get your own card and do your own thing. But if you break it down to them like that and you edify them and let them know that pretty much they the whole reason why you want to build your credit, because you see them living a good life, or you just see them having their priorities together, that'll pretty much motivate them or captivate them to actually buy into whatever you're selling. Okay, so now let me just break down what an authorized user, being an authorized user account can do for you. Within 45 to 60 days, if this person been making payments on time and keeping that utilization ratage down, like I discussed briefly in this video, then you will see the results of your thoughts by basically your credit score will increase. It can increase from 50 points to 100 points to 150 points in 45 to 60 days. Okay, guys, and that's powerful. All because you knew the information to utilize and make it, and you applied it to your life. So now you have a boost. So if you was at 500 with a terrible credit score, now you at 650, because you went up 150 points. Or if you was at 500, now you at 600. Just like that, within a matter of a month and a half or 2 months. 45 to 60 days, guys, it will start showing, okay, on your report. So don't be afraid to ask people for help, okay? God put different individuals on this planet, so that way they can be a blessing to us, so that way they can assist us in all our needs. Okay? You just want to stay humble and dedicated and flexible and considerate and honest. You want to be the truth in everything you do. So that way you don't have to worry about remembering lies, or you don't have to worry about certain little shady things that you did to get ahead, because you don't operate like that. You don't move like that. You got too much standards and principle to move like that. You know? Remember, everything that I develop, I want to make it great. I want to make a Michael Jordan. I want to produce a Kobe Bryant. I want to produce a LeBron James. You know what I mean? And it all starts in the head. You guys got to remember, your thoughts, your attitude is going to create your thoughts. And your thoughts will create your words. And your words, sadly, will create your reality. Okay? So, I want you guys to remember to actually stay focused and disciplined and determined to get out of your current circumstance, to get out of your current situation, to get out of that mental confinement of we can't have more and be more, because you can. It just takes the information, and then it takes not only the information, but it takes you to apply the information to your life daily. And be honest with yourself. Give it 100%. Give it 110%. And I guarantee you, you'll be blessed. Later, family. I'm gone. I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you pretty much, if you have a family member or relatives that haven't seen this video before, or, trying to get into credit, recommend this video. Share this video with them. Okay? We're definitely going to change a lot of lives in 2019, and I will be coming with some more videos. Everything you need to be great and prosper is already in you guys. You just have to put in the work. All right? Later, guys. Be blessed. Till next time.